The 1980s were a distinct era that evokes nostalgia for those who grew up during that decade. If you were a child back then, chances are you have vivid recollections of the pastimes and cultural touchstones that define the 80s experience. Afternoons were often spent at friends' houses, engaging in activities like bouncing on trampolines or watching the newly launched MTV channel. Assembling mixtapes from your favorite songs and marathoning movies rented from Blockbuster video stores were also popular ways to occupy your free time. For those who can relate to these quintessential 1980s memories, a wave of warm nostalgia is sure to wash over them. For many, Friday evenings meant a special tradition, a trip to the local Blockbuster video store. Walking through those doors revealed an unmistakable bright interior, illuminated by box arts, promising endless entertainment options to choose from. The thrill of browsing the expansive aisles and carefully curating a stack of movies to rent, enough to last an entire weekend's worth of viewing, was an experience in and of itself. To make the occasion even more perfect, picking up some microwavable popcorn or movie candy from the snack section was practically mandatory. Those Blockbuster Friday night rituals, from the anticipation of endless possibilities to the simple pleasures of stocking up on cinematic adventures and treats, summoned an unmatched nostalgia for anyone who experienced that era of video rental bliss. Do you reminisce about the unbridled excitement of waking up on Saturday mornings back when you were young? There was an unmatched thrill in racing over to the television, turning it on, and immersing yourself in the world of Saturday morning cartoons, knowing you had no school that day. The lineup may have included eagerly awaited shows like Thundercats, He-Man, the Care Bears, Pee-wee's Playhouse, or the Smurfs, among others. As you watched, transfixed by the animated adventures, you'd indulge in a heaping bowl of your favorite sugary cereal treat. Those were the days when cereals like Captain Crunch, Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Puffs, and Cookie Crisp reigned supreme. For those who experienced this, it sparks a warm nostalgia for the simple yet unparalleled joys of childhood Saturday mornings. The 80s were defined by intense crazes over certain must-have toys that became highly coveted by children. For young girls, owning a Cabbage Patch Kid doll was the ultimate status symbol. With their adoptable backstories and limited supply, especially around the holidays, getting one felt like striking gold. Those who missed out may have consoled themselves with strawberry shortcake or rainbow bright dolls instead. On the other hand, the toy obsession for boys revolved around the He-Man Masters of the Universe action figure line. Amassing all the characters along with the prized Castle Grayskull playset was every young fan's quest. The fervent desire to acquire these iconic 80s toys formed a shared experience that unites generations who grew up in that era with a sense of nostalgia. Do you fondly recall your school days when playing the Oregon Trail was an iconic experience? Originally designed as an educational tool to teach kids about the harsh realities of traveling the American West in the 1800s, the game took on a life of its own. Dealing with challenges like contracting dysentery, losing oxen, and repairing broken wagon wheels became a shared trial. When the teacher announced it was time to play the Oregon Trail on the school computers, it felt like the greatest treat imaginable. Despite the grim subject matter, navigating the arduous digital journey sparked excitement and camaraderie among students. For an entire generation, this seemingly simple game left an indelible mark, transforming a history lesson into an unforgettable interactive adventure. The infuriatingly addictive Rubiks Cube took the world by storm after its 1974 launch, but reached peak mania in the early 1980s. The pursuit to solve the multicolored puzzle captivated kids and grown-ups alike, making James Norris's The Simple Solution to Rubiks Cube a runaway bestseller in 1981 as everyone sought mastery. If the cube didn't consume your free time, then perhaps you were among the first on your block to experience the thrills of the original Nintendo Entertainment System. This pioneering console ushered in an era of iconic video game classics like Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and countless others that defined a generation's gaming memories. For some, the 1980s arcade represented a beacon of escapism and friendly competition. All week long, quarters were painstakingly saved and hoarded with building anticipation, their ultimate purpose being feeding the immortal arcade cabinets. Once inside those dimly lit, boisterous realms of 8-bit glory, friends would converge around games like Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Asteroids, and Donkey Kong, desperately vying for a coveted spot on the leaderboards. Hours seemed to evaporate in an instant. As the mesmerizing cathode rays danced, scores climbed, and quarters endlessly fed the arcade's insatiable appetite. These neon-bathed temples of gaming were perpetually swarmed with dedicated fans, their shared obsession bonding them through an infectious atmosphere of camaraderie and thumb-cramp perseverance. The subversively grotesque Garbage Pail Kids phenomenon was impossible to escape in the 1980s. These trading cards satirized the wholesome Cabbage Patch Kid dolls by depicting parodied children with outrageously punny names, ranging from the hilariously gross to the delightfully macabre. Collecting and trading these sticker cards became an obsession, as kids eagerly sought the newest editions, promising a twisted laugh. Though the novelty stale gum included in each pack was virtually inedible, it did little to deter the mania surrounding these offbeat treasures. For anyone who remembers frantically ripping open those wax packs, the very mention of Garbage Pail Kids unleashes a torrent of nostalgia for their delightfully crass humor and the sheer excitement of amassing the entire revolting yet irresistible collection. MTV's meteoric rise in the 1980s catalyzed a pop culture revolution. In its fledgling heyday, the music video channel minted stars like Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, and Michael Jackson into household names. Back then, experiencing your favorite music meant patiently sitting through a barrage of videos, waiting for that one you desperately wanted to see. It was a pivotal television era defined by moments like Michael Jackson's earth-shattering performance of Billie Jean during the 1983 Motown 25 special. When the King of Pop unveiled his signature anti-gravity moonwalk move, it sparked a nationwide frenzy as kids of all ages scrambled to their mirrors, determined to master the seemingly effortless illusion. From that awe-inspiring instant, the moonwalk became intrinsically woven into 80s nostalgia, an iconic dance craze that unified a generation in their shared quest to emulate Michael's smooth, criminal magic. The vibrant, eclectic fads and crazes that defined the 1980s have become instantly recognizable cultural touchstones virtually impossible to replicate. A mere glimpse of neon colors, big hair, or classic toys and movies transports us back to that singular decade bursting with personality and nostalgia-inducing moments. For those who experienced the 80s firsthand, it represented the pinnacle of youthful exuberance, an era that has since sparked a retro renaissance. These indelible fragments of the past have a way of summoning warm memories from that golden age. Share your own cherished 1980s recollections and anecdotes from what was undoubtedly one of the most inimitable periods to come of age. As always, thank you for taking the time to relive these iconic moments that made growing up in the 80s truly one of a kind.